The other one.
Okay, so folks, good evening and happy Monday. So first things first, friendly reminder, on both sides of the table in the front of the room, as you can see here, there are two mic stands. So these mics are super sensitive, and their purpose is to enable more fluid board member conversation. So in theory, as long as you project and speak towards the front, the mic should hear you. So in addition, these mics will pick up any side conversations. And so RIP to Sarah and Patricia getting in all their steps at board meetings. And then also, if you have any things you'd like to keep to yourself, then maybe keep them at a whisper and not project them so loud. And so this meeting of Brooklyn Community Board 14 is called to order on Monday, June 9th, 2025 at 7:01 p.m. under the applicable statutes of New York State, the Charter of New York City, the board's bylaws, and Robert's Rules of Order. So the board's policy is to encourage detailed public discussion of matters before the board at our committee meetings and at public hearings. Consequently, except by board members, there will be no public discussion at our regular monthly meetings of matters about which a public hearing or committee meeting has been held. Specific service delivery requests or complaints should be brought to the attention of the district's office staff by either calling the board office during regular hours or by visiting our website at any time. So other matters of civic interest may be brought before the board during our scheduled public comment period, which will begin tonight after all other business on the board's monthly meeting agenda has been concluded. Please, no partisan political appeals or advertising of for-profit enterprises will be heard. Persons wishing to speak during the public comment period were asked to pre-register. So first things first, we'll do the attendance, and new board members, I ask that when your names are called, can you please rise briefly and state your presence before sitting back down? That way, as we get used to your wonderful personalities and faces, we're getting better at putting names to faces. Okay, and so Secretary, could you please call the roll?
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Okay. First up, hello? Can you hear me? Yeah.
Mic check, mic check.
All right. Okay. Sahabiza Zada. Am I saying your name correct? Can you? Not here. Okay. Wahil Ahmed. Carissa Alfonso. Gregory Alvarez. Hindi Bendel. Benjamin Bendet. Davina Bolanot. Christopher Bromson. Carl Henry Cesar.
Here.
Florencia Changajita present. Yvette Claire-Jean.
Here.
Elizabeth Dennis. Lisa Derrick. Joseph Dweck. Rosin Ford. Gerald Gray. Suzanne Hargett. Oh. Musa Hassoun.
Here.
Ian Haynes. Ian Haynes. No? Okay. Mordecai Husarski. Kashif Hussein. Nautica Johnson. Erica Phillips Jones. Wow. Kirsty Jutila. Okay. Shahid Khan. Nicole Levinson Angulo. Alex Lesman. Donald Loggins. Sasha Masluski. Melissa Minnick. Ephraim Nierenberg. Asma Nusi. Sorry. Okay. Eric Ost. Ornella Parker.
Present.
Nora Pena. Susan Phillip.
Present.
Barton Pressant. Oh, sorry. Svi Plotsker.
I'm glad you're here, Pardon.
That's not why I said that. That's not why. That's not why. I'm sorry. Baza Ruhi. Nina Subger. Joel Siegel. Gail L. Smith. Alexa Summers. Welcome. Tova Svenberg. Rolanda Telesford Hastic. All right now. Abraham Truff. Deborah Valentin. Dawn Marie Walker. Alana Wilson. We've got 30, so quorum. We've got 30.
Okay. So we have quorum, Secretary?
Yes.
Thank you so much for that. And so also, too, for the new board members, thank you very much for doing that as well. Appreciate you doing that. So next up, for the minutes, were any changes to the May 2025 minutes received via email?
Yes. One of the newer members caught that we had left a vowel out of Christopher Bromson's name, so we have now spelled your name correctly. I will let you know who you can thank later. Thanks for the eagle eyes from the new members.
I support the eagle eyes, so thank you for doing that, whoever you are. Are there any additional changes to the May 2025 minutes from the floor? So seeing none, do I have a motion to adopt the minutes of the May 2025 General Board meeting incorporating those changes? Thank you so much. So are any members opposed? Any abstentions? Any ineligible? So the motion carries. So next up, we have the district manager's report.
Hi, good evening, everybody. Kind of have a lot to get through, but I talk fast. As the state has concluded its budget and the city enters its final rounds, I do want to note that there is a focus on ongoing advocacy for a baseline budget increase for community boards. As many of you know, have heard me say before, in the past 20 years, we have not had a substantial increase. If you average us out over the last 20 years, it's 1.5%, where inflation was about 2.5% per year over the last 20, so we have not kept up. Yet our responsibilities have grown, our communities are shifting, and there's more expectations on our roles and on our service delivery. So this, to me is a really important advocacy item. And I will be speaking in front of the Government Ops Committee next Monday. They are considering 8 separate intros in City Council that will be introduced next week. Those intros, some of them are misguided and wouldn't be helpful and undermine, even have the concern that they would undermine our autonomy, and none of them do anything to support a baseline budget increase. So to the extent that they're sort of distractions from what we really need, I'll be speaking to the budget, the need for the budget increase, and submitting written testimony as to concerns with the intros. The intros can be found on the City Council website, and we'll post them on our website as well. And then my testimony will be submitted to the board as well. And anybody who's interested in hearing more, you can ask people in this room who've heard me go on about it ad nauseum. I'm happy to talk about it. Speaking of budgets, we are also at the time of year where we are accepting, encouraging, really asking you to provide input on any requests you have for the expense budgets and capital projects in the district. At the September meeting, we'll have a public hearing where we'll consider anything that is provided to the office. So the form is listed on our website. Please participate, because the more input we get, the more data we have, the more useful it is both to advocate for those items, and we also use it to back up service delivery requests. So please participate in that. We'll also be using that information. The sooner you do that, the better, because I'll be working over the summer with colleagues to put together our budget consultation agendas. We hold budget consultations with all of the city agencies at the very beginning of fall, and over the summer is where we submit the agendas. So any input I'm getting from the community while we're composing those is really helpful. So the sooner the better with that. Also, while I'm talking about forms on the website, board members, friendly nudge and reminder to do your committee preference forms. And then I have a couple quick administrative announcements. Sarah and Patricia will be swapping schedules. Sarah will work 4 days instead of 5, and Patricia will work 5 instead of 4. So I don't imagine that there's going to be a lot of outward, you won't notice this change, but just doing my due diligence and letting you know we put that request in, and it's been approved. So a little schedule swap. And I also, oh, I already said the committee preferences. Okay, that's it for administrative. But I do want to note the passing of Representative Charles Rangel. On the back table, and we'll post on our website, there are several public opportunities to pay respects should you wish. Yes, Patricia's holding them up. So call the office or pick up one of those forms. It's all week long, first in Harlem, then in City Hall, and then the funeral Friday at St. Patrick's Cathedral. And I also want to remind you that there is a summer hiatus for meetings, but the community board office will be fully functioning all summer long. So be in touch, stay in touch. Let us know what you're seeing and hearing in the community, and just drop by to say hello. Thank you.
Thank you very much for that report, District Manager Campbell. And so before we go to the chair's report, there's a bunch of people who are here, so I need to recognize them. And if you hear some excitement in my voice, that's because I'm riding that French Open OKC Game 2 energy. That's why I'm riding that Coco Golf Alcaraz OKC energy. So this is why you're seeing that. So first, Mary Kay Siri from Assemblymember Carroll's office. Thank you very much for being here. Nancy Lulu from D.A. Gonzalez. Thank you very much for being here as well. Brian Grady from Councilwoman Joseph's office. Thank you very much as well. Abraham from Councilmember Lewis's office. Thank you. Esquire, 2B. Hey, I said 2B, my guy. I said 2B Esquire. And also we have Detective Nuzzy from the 7-0, so thank you very much. And we also have Portia Edwards from, I see you, Portia, you got that. She's like, hey, I see you. And then as other folks come in, I will recognize you as well, yes. And so for the chair's report, good evening. I'm letting you know that this is a robust one, but not so super robust. And so the first thing is for people who did celebrate Shavuot, I hope that it did treat you well. And for folks who can make the Hajj, I'm wishing all of you safe travels to and from. And for people who did celebrate Eid al-Adha, I hope that it is a joyous celebration. And so June is Pride Month, and it is Caribbean American Heritage Month. And so, I take this time to thank both of these communities for their contributions to our society. And I hope that for folks who hold either or both of these communities dear, that you do have a vibrant month of celebration. And last but not least, I do wish folks a deeply reflective Juneteenth. So the next announcement I want to make is to echo what the district manager said. Committee assignment form reminders, those went out. Friendly reminder to complete those as soon as possible. So while the deadline on the form says September 1st, the sooner you turn it in, the better, just because our goal is that by the time we come back for our first general board meeting in early September, all those assignments are done. Okay, so that's that. The second thing is I would like folks to join me in congratulating Christopher Rumson as co-chair of the Community Environment Committee. So he will join Joel Siegel in leading this committee, and I look forward to their leadership. So congratulations on that. The next thing I want to let folks know of is regarding SUNY Downstate Brooklyn. So on June 5th, the Downstate Community Advisory Board's final report outlining the recommendations was released. I urge people to go to this following URL, https, downstateadvisoryboard.org. Okay, so all one word. They have hyperlinks where you can read the summary, the report, and the corresponding appendices. These are documents that I will definitely be reading over the summer, and I want to remind folks that this doesn't mean that the work on SUNY Downstate Brooklyn's future is far from over, but just letting people know that an important step was made when this report was released on June 5th. Okay? The next thing I want to remind people of is that our annual reception, it will take place in the fall. So as we get a date and we've ironed those details out, like that information will be forthcoming. The next thing I want to do is, do I have a motion to empower the committee of the whole? And then for the new appointed board members, this is one of the things that you can read about in our bylaws on the website, but the quick summary is that our committee of the whole is a mechanism through which the community board can weigh in on items usually urgent outside of the community board calendar year, so September, so like basically during the summer, or within the calendar year for special circumstances. And so do I have a motion to empower the committee of the whole? Thank you. Any opposed? Any abstentions? Anyone ineligible? Okay, so the motion carries. Excellent. So the next thing is a recap of the executive committee meeting. So we had an executive committee meeting on Thursday, May 29th at the CB14 district office at 810 East 16th Street. So the agenda was to cover new board member orientation, CB14 practices regarding committee meetings, public hearings, permits, and licenses, performance review for district manager, and other business. So for the new board member orientation section, expectations and resources were shared with new board members, some examples being each other, the CB14 website, the documentation on the website, and the district office. For the CB14 practices, we had a discussion on how we had handled committee meetings, public hearings, permits, and licenses for this year, and then the discussion was what should be done for the next year. So the discussion ended in the following manner. We will keep the committee scheduling as is for next year. One of the key things was we agreed that we need to find ways to improve committee member attendance and publicizing these committees to the general public. Number two, keep the OCM public hearings as is. That being said, one of the things for us to consider is eventually developing some sort of framework by which we can apply future applications to that, and they could be handled administratively, similar to how SLA applications are done administratively today. The next thing, too, was we decided to keep the Department of Transportation open dining public hearings as is for next year, to keep the SLA applications as is for next year, and then also to keep the Landmark Preservation Committee applications as is for next year as well. For the part regarding the performance of the district manager, board members gave the district manager feedback on her performance, and then we had a bit of a discussion on mechanisms to provide said feedback. And then also during this meeting, an idea was shared about starting a Friends of CB14 nonprofit corporation. And so I want to give another shout out to Christopher Bromson for his involvement in early conversations about this work, and also offering to take the lead in the early stages of this idea. And so I encourage folks who are interested in learning more and potentially helping to email the district office about this. So the next item is a public hearing on Cafe Madeleine Sidewalk Cafe application. So this public hearing took place on Thursday, June 5th at the same district office, 810 East 16th Street. So the purpose was to hear public testimony with respect to an application for a sidewalk cafe under DOT's Dining Out NYC program. The applicant was Madeleine LLC, doing business as Pasture Burgers, located at 1611 Cortellia Road. So a representative for the applicant was present. They did present on the application, and they answered questions from board members. There were no members of the public present, and the board did not receive written testimony from members of the public earlier. The recommendation from the public hearing was to approve Madeline Incorporated DBA Pasture Burgers Sidewalk Cafe application. So do board members have any questions or comments?
Good burgers.
There we go. I was gonna go somewhere, but I decided not to go. But I thank you for it. And so, given that comment, do I have a motion for CB14 to approve the recommendation? Okay. Okay, thank you. And so, do I have any abstentions to the recommendation? Any folks ineligible? Any folks opposed to the recommendation? Okay, so the motion carries. The next piece as well is that also on June 5th, there was a transition committee meeting that took place after that public hearing. And so Chair Parker will provide a recap later about that meeting. What I'm calling out is that there was a recommendation that came out of that meeting. So the recommendation that came out of that meeting was to continue the ad hoc transition committee as is until such a time that a bylaws committee can consider adding it as a standing committee and thus making it a permanent fixture of Community Board 14. And so, do board members have any questions or comments regarding that recommendation? Yes.
What was the idea behind keeping it as a standing committee ultimately in the long run? I thought the point of the committee was to help us transition into term limits or something like that. Thank you.
Sure. So where that came up in the conversation was there were several board members who were calling out two main things, which is that we as a board, we're in a better position in terms of having some of our transition being phased out as opposed to everyone being phased out all at once when we hit 2027, 2028. Number two is also that there's a lot of work that needs to be done, and the conversation was realizing that some of these things could actually be operationalized, right? Like there could actually be an operationalization of the work that the transition committee would do in terms of looking at the incoming board members, seeing how they stack up to the demographics of the people who would apply, seeing if the borough board is doing its job of like appointing a more representative board, and then also handling some of the things regarding like handbooks and knowledge transfer and things like that. So these were the reasons why a conversation realized, oh, there's also a chance that this work could actually be offloaded to a permanent committee instead of it just staying as an ad hoc transition committee for the foreseeable future. Did I answer your questions? Okay, thank you. Are there any additional questions regarding that recommendation? Okay, so then, Secretary, would you like me to repeat the recommendation? No worries, I got you. Okay. So the recommendation that I'm going to ask, after I repeat this, I'm going to ask for a motion, right? So the recommendation was to continue the ad hoc transition committee as is until such a time that a bylaws committee can consider adding it as a standing committee, thus making it permanent.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. And so, do I have a motion for CB14 to approve the recommendation? Okay, thank you, folks. And so, any folks opposed? Any abstentions? Anyone ineligible? Okay, so the motion carries. So the next piece is another one. So folks, join me in congratulating Nicole Levinson Angulo, aka Nikki, as the co-chair of the Ad Hoc Transition Committee. So given her experience as a former CB14 board member and current experience as a new board member, I'm confident that Nikki and Ornella will join forces well and continue bringing great energy and ideas to the table. So I look forward to both of you doing that work. So next up, please be advised that we already know in the fall we're going to have 2 public hearings on BSA applications. One of them is a DCP special order calendar item, and the other is a variance and special permit application. And both of these applications will be heavy, and they'll have a lot of material to review. So I'm giving you the following guidance way early. So as soon as these respective materials are available, read the statement of facts first. All right, that's important because then it'll give you more context on the application and the ask. So our next general board meeting will be on September 8th, but it's better for me to share this with you folks now than like September 8th, okay? So, yes, board member Prasad?
Quick heads up on what the DCP one is?
Trying to, if I remember correctly, and
It's not something at the scale of city or gas.
No. It's not that. I'm going to try and summarize, and if I get it wrong, then like either board member Alvarez or district manager Campbell, please correct me. So basically, there is a property on Coney Island Avenue where they're basically asking for 2 additional floors. Okay. And they're asking for it for like pedagogical reasons, but this approval was so far ago that we have to review it, and there's a bunch of other stuff involved.
Okay, fine. Thank you. I just wanted a sense of scale.
Was that a correct high-level summary? Okay, yeah, so that's the general gist. You're very welcome. Cool. So the next piece is the Brooklyn Borough Board report. So the June Brooklyn Borough Board meeting took place on June 2nd, and it was quite robust. There were 3 main areas on the agenda. So the first was a presentation from the Department of Youth and Community Development, aka DYCD, on neighborhood advisory boards. The second was a public hearing by the New York City Economic Development Corporation, aka EDC, on its proposal to create 2 new public open spaces near Broadway Junction Station. And then the third was an update from Borough Board's Bylaw Committee. So on DYCD's presentation on neighborhood advisory boards, basically what they were presenting on were that neighborhood advisory boards provide residents of low-income communities an opportunity to help DYCD identify funding priorities. These neighborhood advisory boards serve neighborhood development areas, otherwise known as NDAs, but not that non-disclosure agreement NDA, which are, we do acronyms too, right? So I have to clarify, which are low-income neighborhoods designated as needing community development support. And these members are responsible for helping to identify the needs of their local communities. DYCD takes these findings into consideration when they're allocating the federal community service block grant. Okay, so each neighborhood development area is represented by a 7 to 12 member board. There's certain criteria regarding how people can get on that board. These meetings are open to the public. And then the other point too is that if people are interested in joining a neighborhood advisory board or you have some questions, you can call DYCD's Community Connect at 1-800-246-4646, or you can also email them. If you do a search, whatever your search engine of preference is, if you search if you search DYCD and then Neighborhood Advisory Board, I think one of the first hits would take you to their page, and then you can see what that email address is there. But I'm giving you the very brief cliff notes of their presentation on that piece. On the second part regarding an update on EDC's presentation on Broadway Junction, so EDC presented on the plan. In addition, the commanding officer of the Transit Bureau, District 33rd Precinct, this individual spoke about the current state of the precinct, its limitations, and what could be done if they were to relocate to the proposed site. And the reason that matters is because that Broadway Junction proposal, it's about, the proposal said it's about delivering over 25,000 square feet of new public open space, including the extension of the existing Callahan Kelly Playground and the relocation of the NYPD Transit Bureau's 33rd District to a new facility. And so after, and also there were no members of the public present, so the board members asked questions. This proposal specifically affected 2 community boards, so these were the chairpersons who voiced their respective communities' concerns. The main gist of the concerns that these community boards raised was that from their vantage point, this project was a lack of quality community engagement from EDC. The second thing is they felt that this was par for the course regarding their experience with other city agencies and other initiatives. The third piece is they felt that their questions remain unanswered for various impacts. One of the impacts that they mentioned was they didn't feel they got a clear answer from EDC regarding what the future state of current parking for residents and also the police officers would look like if this project was actually greenlit. And then they also said that they didn't feel like EDC had answered their questions enough about what this would do in regards to the other construction that's happening in the area as well. So in the end, ultimately, a vote did not take place on this proposal. And so that's the very brief, like, cliff notes of that specific piece. The last part for Borough Board was there was an update from the Borough Board's Bylaws Committee. So the chair of the committee went through the proposed updates to the bylaws for Borough Board, and we as Brooklyn Borough Board members, we will vote on this in our September 2nd Brooklyn Borough Board meeting. So that's it for the summary of the Borough Board report. There's also a bunch of other people that I need to recognize, so I'm still riding that great sports energy from the weekend. And so I have Britt Bird from BP Reynoso's office, so thank you very much for coming, Britt. I have Taisha Allen from Assemblymember Michelle Hermelin's office, so thank you very much as well. And I have, please correct me if I'm getting this right, is it Naomi Sailing? Ailes? Okay, my bad, from Assemblymember Cunningham. So thank you very much for coming as well. Oh, yes, I would definitely do that. And so the next piece, so there's two other things left. So friendly reminder for mayoral primary voting. So early voting, it starts Saturday, June 14th. It goes through Sunday, June 22nd. The second piece is that election day is Tuesday, June 24th. And remember that New York does close primaries. And so what this means is that only people who are affiliated with either party can vote on that respective party's candidates, right? So just remember those dates and just remember that stuff too. And the last piece as well is this is kind of like elementary school when you used to get like stickers by your name for attendance, but there's no pizza party at the end.
There's actually no Snickers.
Yeah, there's no candies here, right? But I had to call it out because that was one of them. But I'm calling this out just because we got some people on here who have perfect attendance, so I want to shout out these people. So first, I'm going to shout out myself, Carl Henry Say. Hey, you know what? In addition to being the chairperson, I got jokes once in a while. Hey, but no, I'm serious. I do have perfect attendance. So now that I've shouted myself out the way, let me shout out the real stars. So second, I want to shout out Musa Hassoun. I want to shout out Gregory Alvarez. I'm going to shout out Alex Lesman and Donald Loggins. Yeah, so just know in another universe, there would have been a pizza party. This is not the one, but just know in another one, you're getting it. And then, you know what? I'm going to just say, you know what? I'm stopping. We'll talk offline. We'll talk offline. That's it. We'll put in the parking lot, you know, all those sayings that people like to say. And so there are some people who love the community board so much that they've been in excess of like 20 meetings. And so in no order, we have Florencia Changajita. Her total is 25, so this means the board meetings plus the committee meetings. So yeah. So when I say she goes all over Brooklyn, I'm not kidding. Like, really? It's true. It's true. It's true. And so we have Nina Savgir. We have Dawn Marie Walker. We have Ornella Parker. And we have Deborah Valentin.
I like pepperoni on my pizza, by the way.
Okay, I see that. I see that. I'll put a call in with someone I don't know. And we'll see.
Pastor Burger.
Yeah, that's Pastor Burger, not pizza, right? Is that what we do? So anyway, on a wonderful, joyous note, that ends the chair's report. And so now we are on the topical committees, and first off, we will go with Community Environment, Cultural Affairs, followed by Human Services Committee. I guess we have, all right. I guess we have no announcements from either of those in the committees then.
Who was the second one?
Sure. So the first one was Community Environment, and then the second one was Human Services.
Oh, we have lots of announcements.
Okay, let's go.
Carl, you had just housing first.
Oh, shoot. Is my order different from the...
You
Okay.
won't be forgotten.
So then, Joel, do I have you guys come up?
You said mumbled that second one, which is why I was not.
Oh, my bad, my bad. And also, too, it turns out like the order in which I'm reading is different from the agenda, so that's why I threw people off. So I'll correct that after you folks. All right. Thank you for the shot. Thank you for calling that out, Joel. I appreciate that.
Hi, everyone. I'm Yvette Claire Jean.
Nina Savgir. We want to thank everyone, all the organizations who participated in our 13th annual Nonprofit Roundtable, which was held on May 21st. So we had 33 different organizations who were providing services to the community board in our district and in Brooklyn come and participate and share about the wonderful work that they're doing. And we also had a great keynote speaker from the Mayor's Office of Nonprofit Services. So for those who weren't there, we hope, and who are part of a nonprofit, we hope we'll see you there next year. Special thanks to the office for all of their hard work in making sure that the day went smoothly, and to OHEL for hosting us.
I want to say that we are amazingly fortunate. First of all, I don't think that any other CB in New York City does anything like this, but we have just an amazing wealth of nonprofits in our community and adjacent to and overlapping and so forth. And you can go online to the CB site, CB14, and see a list and see information, contact information for all of the various agencies. So if there's something that you happen to be concerned about or know somebody who's concerned, that's a great resource for you, so please use it. I also want to tell you all about Summer Streets. Some of you may have noticed that if you were trying to get around Newkirk Avenue, that there are these barriers that go up on Sundays. The streets between East 16th and Ocean Avenue are blocked, so you cannot drive up Newkirk on Sundays. But it's a great fun. There's a lot of different organizations and programs that set up tables. They've got activities for kids. They've got activities for those of us who are no longer kids. And we had everything. We had bicycle repair. We had New York Road Runners had some games and activities. Someone was doing balloons. So bring your families out, take a stroll, traffic-free, and enjoy the summer. And I did take advantage, Sean, just so you know. I brought flyers for CB14 and did a little plugging to try to let more people know, because we do want, as it came up, we do want to expand and have greater representation for our community board. So,
Thank you so much.
Before the next committee is called up, I was remiss in not expressing my thanks to this board. I'm going to start with all of the attendance supports the work we do, so it's appreciated. But the nonprofit roundtable, I really appreciate that I have work for a board that supports that event, and that and the co-chairs of the Human Service Committee run that roundtable so gracefully, and the support of the chair, of course. But it's like almost an embarrassment of riches to have so many people. It makes me feel so good, that event, to see all the good work that's going on in our community for people in need and for people in search of fun and everybody in between.
Co-sign everything you said there. And so, yes, so I did mess up the order, and so the second group will be housing and land use, and then followed by community environment.
Welcome. Thank you. So my name is Melissa Minnick. This is Greg Alvarez. And so we have a couple things to announce. One is that the Department of Buildings is currently offering free, no-penalty inspections. This can be of decks, patios, boilers, facades, pretty much anything. Good thing to take advantage of. You can just call 311 and request a free inspection. And that can be of any of these things. So it's a good thing to take advantage of. And the second thing we're going to talk about is our recent committee meeting that we had. We had two presenters. The first was Allison Martinez, one of the directors of an organization called Brooklyn Level Up. And she presented about a Community Land Trust 101 training. So it was really talking about an introduction to what land trusts are, ways that these can look in places like New York City, where maybe we don't think of there being a lot of free open space, open land, and how they're really a method of building collective wealth. And this is an organization that they assist. Their purpose is to assist with looking to help build wealth in lower income communities. They're based in Flatbush, and we have a lot of more resources from them as well. She shared the presentation, I believe, and we have that as well on our site, and we had it.
All right, yeah, and I'm just going to mention the second agenda item we talked about on May 19th. We had a presentation from the Landmarks Preservation Commission, the LPC. Lisa Kersavage, the Executive Director, and Stephen Thompson, the Director of Community and Government Affairs. So they talked about their mission and in terms of their protection of both historic landmarks and districts throughout the city. For our immediate purposes, they provided useful information regarding whether if you have property located within existing districts, so ways in which to modify your property, and also ways that new landmarks and districts can be so designated. So that'll be of importance to us in connection with the Beverly Square West and Ditmas Park West historic district that's being considered currently. So we encourage you to take a look at, if you were not able to attend, the WebEx on our YouTube station to get any more further information that you'd be looking for on those two topics. And look out for our next meetings in September. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. So next up, in the correct order, we have Community, Environment, Cultural Affairs, and Economic Development.
Hello, everyone. Joel Siegel, co-chair. This is my new co-chair, Christopher Bronson, who has an impressive resume. For 15 years, he worked and was the executive director of the Crime Victims Treatment Center, New York's first and most comprehensive rape crisis program. So Christopher's done some really good work. Anyway, and now he's stuck being co-chair with me. So anyway, wishing everyone a happy, fun, relaxing summer. We didn't have any meetings within the past month, so nothing to report on that end. But I do want to thank our chair and the community board office for serving the community, providing us with a forum, for being plugged in, connected, for us to be able to network, and for bringing together this extremely diverse community. So thanks to the people at the board. So come on, give them a hand, Jesus. So anyway, I'm going to turn it over to Christopher. He's got some announcements. Thank you all for listening.
Thank you. And what Joel didn't say is that when we do have a meeting, it'll be spectacular. So please look out for a date. As the chair and the district manager mentioned, it's budget season in New York City, and the Playfair Coalition is hosting this week a phone bank for park support. So they are advocating for an increased budget for New York City's parks, which we all hold very dear. There's more information. You can go in person or participate virtually every day this week, and there's information at bit.ly/phone bank for parks. And then Summer in the Park is a very special time, so though we won't be meeting as a community board, there's a lot of stuff happening in Prospect Park over the next month. The Public Theater is returning with Much Ado About Nothing on Saturday, June 28th and June 29th. It'll be at the Peninsula. It's free, so they recommend looking at the website and RSVPing if you want to, but it's first come, first serve for seating. And then to celebrate Caribbean American Heritage Month, the One Love Fest will be returning for the 4th year, and that'll be at the Prospect Park Boathouse from 11 to 7 on Sunday, June 29th, with I Am Caribbean and the Prospect Park Alliance hosting workshops and music and dance and lots of fun stuff to celebrate the heritage. And then for Pride Month, in partnership with the library, the Prospect Park Alliance will host the Brooklyn Pride Twilight Parade on Saturday, June 14th at 7 p.m. And the meeting point is 5th Avenue and Lingham Place, and it'll be a lovely evening march to celebrate Pride. So have a great summer. We'll see you all in the fall.
Thank you.
No, that was at the top. Yeah. Great.
All right, thank you all.
Thank you, folks. All right, next up we have Community Safety.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
My name is Florencia Changajita, and my co-chair is
Hindi Bendal. Hi, everyone. So we had no meeting last month, but we wanted to wish everyone who celebrates happy Shavuot, happy Eid al-Adha, happy Father's Day for those who celebrate. Besides, there are some. I just looked it up on AI, and it's just interesting. Today is June 9th, right? So today is International Dark and Stormy Day. I just thought that was appropriate. Other June celebrations, Pride Month, Caribbean Heritage Month. It didn't say that, but I heard that earlier. It's also National Men's Health Awareness Month, National Oceans Month. So we're going to be starting to go to the beaches. We should take care of them and be careful not to litter, or maybe even pick up some stuff that we see. And National PTSD Awareness Month.
Yeah, sorry. And just to let you know, our 7-0 Precinct Council meeting will be on the 25th of this month. It's Wednesday, and please come out. There will be lots of food. It's the year end, until September, and lots of celebrating, having fun. Also, in August 5th, the first Tuesday, will be National Night Out. It's a great time to come out, bring a neighbor, bring a friend, bring a relative, come meet the board, meet your elected officials, meet your officers, and everyone's usually out there. And this is a great sense of community. Bring your kids. There's lots of food, lots of celebration, and please have a safe summer. Thank you.
Enjoy your summer, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you so much, both of you. So next up, we have the Transportation Committee.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Deborah
evening.
Valentin.
Musa. All right, so we didn't have a meeting last month, but we do have a meeting coming up on Wednesday, July 11th at 6:30 p.m. We're having the DOT come present to us on what they're calling Phase 3 of the bike lane expansions. It's a very exciting presentation. If you love them, come. If you hate them, come. If you want to learn more, come. And we'll all have a good time, especially if you want to hang out with the both of us.
It's the best committee.
Yeah. Thank you very much.
I mean, that door's been open for months, so we can't. This is the wrong time to complain. So thank you too. So yes, next up we have Youth Services, Education, Libraries. No pressure on Ryland.
Hi, everyone. Co-chair Ornella Parker.
Eric Goss, good evening.
There's a reason why they said that before the best committee came up here. They were pressured, not us. We all know what you guys put on your forms for your committees, right? Yeah, submit y'all forms, y'all. What committee y'all gonna be in? Again. We did not have a meeting last month. However, as you guys know, forms are out, so fill those forms out, because coming back hot and blazing when we get back in September, we will be having a meeting. So again, this is me putting another plug there. Youth Services, it's a long one, y'all. Youth Services, Education, Libraries Committee. So if you care about your youth, which you should, because they're going to be taking care of us one day, this is the committee for you. Did I do a good job, y'all? Okay.
Also, school's almost out, so Youth Services, the youth will be in the community. If you're a parent with small children, like me, sorry, school's out. It's a very sad time when school's out, I gotta say. As a teacher, you're excited that it's over for the summer, but as a parent, you're like, no, I think school needs to continue. But there's great programs in the city. Parks Department has great stuff. Obviously, Celebrate Brooklyn. Florencia wanted just to remind, the National Night Out will be in the parade grounds on August 5th, so know that. Also, if you're around on Thursday, PS 217, which is on Coney Island and Foster Ave, Newkirk, There is outdoor music from 6 to 7. We're going to have, there's a guy who plays harmonium, trumpet. It's a community event that the Parents Association holds, open to everybody. So come, enjoy some refreshments, and listen to some music. So it's the summer.
And remind them what the best committee is.
Oh, well, they already know. They already know. But we'll see you next year.
And next up, we have the Transition Committee.
All right. So we had a meeting last week, Thursday, June 5th at 6:30 at the district office. If you don't know where that is, if you're new to the board, get acquainted. It's 810 East 16th Street. It followed the public hearing that we had. The agenda items for that meeting, Chair Carl already spoke to one of them where we made the recommendation to continue as ad hoc until the time that we were able to have a bylaws meeting to make it permanent, which we just voted on today. So yay, great. But the other parts of it was, the first was the composition of the board and the community. One of the purposes of this ad hoc committee is to make sure that our board represents the district that we serve. Currently, we have a couple gaps in representation. We don't have anyone from ages 16 to 24 right now on our board, unless somebody lied on the application and you're younger than you really are, but we really are not representing our youth on the board. And for those that currently join, you know that from 16, you can join your community board. Right now, we don't have any representation for that age group. There's also some disparities around gender. There's also disparities around representation for renters versus those that are homeowners. And then we're clarifying the language a little bit around transportation because we had asked it a little weird last time. So my plug around that is emails went out, right, Sean, for you guys to complete your surveys so that we have that data since we now have our new board members for this year, so we can make a comparison of like, okay, what is the board representative of right now, and does it match our district? We're going to be doing that work over the summer, so when we come back in the fall, sometime in the fall, we'll meet to look at that data to see where we still have gaps and how we can close the gaps in regards to representation of our district. That was a mouthful. The next is outreach, recruitment, and public members was the second item. We're trying to figure out how, for outreach, two things. One, how we outreach to make sure we are getting more people that represent our district to show up to to be a part of our board and engage with our board, but specifically around public members. So what is true is for those that have like applied and you're a permanent member, that's great, but members of the public, is in our bylaws, actually can be public members and sit on standing committees if they have been to one meeting and speak to the chair. So right now, there's two suggestions from that, is to make sure any chair for any of the standing committees are naming in every meeting that they have that is an option for anyone who's in the from the public, but also increasing our engagement to make sure people from the public show up to that meeting so that we actually have that as an option. So invite your friends, invite the people you know, because we spoke about this. The best way to get people to show up in spaces is through word to mouth. That has been proven scientifically over and over again. So if you know somebody in your community that is a great plug, you think they're representative, have them come to the next standing meeting with you, whichever one that you're passionate about. And then if they're passionate about something like youth, send them over to our meeting. And then the last thing was, we are creating a board member handbook. There was one a few years ago, like a while ago. We're repurposing it. Is that the word? Repurposing? Repurposing? Yeah, one of those words mixed together. We're repurposing it and making it better. So if anyone feels passionate about any items that you think is like must know for new members joining, please just send an email to myself or the district office so that we can get your input on that information. We're going to create it into a handbook that we can hand off to anyone who's joining new so that we're continuing to share knowledge. All right, y'all. That's it.
Thank you so much. And so this brings me to the part where I always thank Rosenfeld and the East Midwood Jewish Center their flowers for hosting our meeting. So. And also Mark Moss for being the man in the chair for live streaming this meeting. So we couldn't do this without both of you, and so thank you very much. And this brings us to our public comment period. And so board members are expected to remain for the public comment period. Speakers can sign up for time with Patricia Olander in the back up until the beginning of the public comment period. Matters of civic interest and announcements of public events are invited. Please, reminder, no partisan political appeals or advertising of for-profit enterprises are permitted. Each speaker will be permitted to speak for up to 3 minutes and may not receive additional time from another speaker. Speakers are directed to address the assembly from the front of the room at that podium right there. And speakers, I will politely let you know when you have 1 minute and then 30 seconds left. At the conclusion of the 3-minute period, each speaker must return to their seat. So the board does have an obligation to conduct its business in an orderly manner, so any person preventing the meeting from continuing may be asked to leave. And it is 7:56 p.m. So the first speaker is Musa Hassoun, followed by Detective Scott Nuzzi.
Hi again, everybody. I'm speaking here in my own personal capacity, obviously. Okay, so I am just here to announce that on Tuesday, June 17th, the East Midwood Jewish Center is having a grand reopening of the pool and locker room. There is apparently free swimming for all, and there's a flyer in the back that'll give you the dates on June 17th, 19th, and the 22nd. There's also co-ed swimming hours through Labor Day. I really encourage people to take advantage of the opportunity. I remember years ago, I didn't know how to swim until I was quite old. And I actually went on a date with someone, and he taught me how to swim at the YMCA pool. It sounds very romantic, but it was actually very embarrassing. So this is a great opportunity for folks to get into a pool if you don't have one. Thank you.
Thank you very much for that. So I misspoke. So the next person will be Mary Kay Siri, followed by Carol Moore.
Hi, everybody. I only have two events to announce. The first, on Tuesday, June 17th, Assemblymember Carroll is hosting a kids' book giveaway at Cortelyou Library, and he's doing it in partnership with the Brooklyn Book Bodega. So these are all very gently used books that are going to be distributed to kids from 0 to 18. So moms and even older kids can come by and just pick up free books. It's from 2:30 to 4:30. And the second event is our twice annual MTA MetroCard van, which is coming on July 31st. And as they're phasing out MetroCards, it's time to collect all those MetroCards in your closet and old purses and consolidate and get them together. And they will also help you switch over to Omni and get your reduced fare MetroCards, et cetera, et cetera. Anything you can do with a MetroCard, you can do it at this location, at this mobile unit. Okay, thank you. Have a great summer, everybody.
Thank you so much, Mary Kay. So next up, we have Carol Moore, followed by Britt Bird.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
My name is Carol E. Moore, and I am joined here with my colleague, Yelena Kuzmina. We are proud to be here on behalf of Brooklyn Dreams Charter School to introduce you to our wonderful, amazing school and the wonderful programs that we offer. Brooklyn Dreams is a K-8 charter school serving approximately 600 students. What truly makes our school special is its diversity. Our scholars come from a wide range of cultural and linguistic backgrounds, with home languages including Haitian Creole, Spanish, Uzbek, Urdu, Bengali, and Russian, among others. We are proud to have a strong English language learner program with 3 dedicated teachers, English language learner teachers, who support students from various language backgrounds. This program ensures that all students, regardless of their language proficiency level, receive the individualized support they need to succeed, thank you, academically and socially. In addition to L services, Brooklyn Dreams also known for its commitment to inclusion and support for students with special needs. We strongly believe that every scholar can learn, and we have a robust response to intervention, RTI, model to help identify and provide the support scholars need to thrive. We offer integrated co-teaching ICT classes across all grade bands. In these classrooms, a general education teacher and a special education teacher work together to support all students, including those with IEPs that require ICT services. We also provide SETs, special education teacher support services, as needed. Our support services extend beyond academics. We also offer occupational therapy, physical therapy, counseling, support from our behavioral and emotional support team, which includes dedicated social workers. In addition to core instruction, Brooklyn Dreams offers a well-rounded curriculum that includes Mandarin, physical education, art, music, technology.
1 minute, Ms. Moore.
Students participate in one of these specials once a week for 45 minutes. Our school day starts from 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. At Brooklyn Dreams, we are a caring and committed school community with invested teachers and administrators who are passionate about student success and well-being. Open enrollment is currently underway, and we warmly invite you to come by for a tour and learn about our program in person. Please don't hesitate to reach out if you have any questions. We would love to speak with you further. Thank you so much for your time and your attention.
Thank you, Ms. Moore. Thank you very much for being here. So next up, we have Britt Bird, followed by Abraham Malachowski.
Hi, everyone. Britt Bird for Brooklyn Borough President Antonio Reynoso. He sends you his regards. Just two things from me today. If you are interested in the land use application mentioned by the chair earlier about Broadway Junction, there is a public hearing being held at Borough Hall about the very same application at 6 on Wednesday at Borough Hall. You could also send written testimony as well through Friday. And then last week, Borough President Reynoso hosted a one-on-one discussion with EDC about the Brooklyn Marine Terminal, although not located in this community district. This is a very large proposal to transform the only container terminal on this side of the Hudson River, and will have a huge effect on the entire borough. The question and answers that were asked of EDC were posted to the Borough President's website and put out in a press release. Encourage anyone curious about that project to go to the BP's website for more information. And that's it. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Britt. All right. So next up, we have Abraham Malachowski, followed by Brian Grady.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Abraham. I am here representing Councilmember Farrah Lewis. I'd like to begin, as always, by thanking Chair Cesar and District Manager Campbell for everything that you do. Your tireless work is noted, and it is very, very much appreciated. I also want to take a moment to wish everyone who celebrated a happy Shavuos or Shavuot, as well as a joyous Eid al-Adha to everyone who celebrated, and to those who are currently observing. This past month has been a really, really busy one in the 45th Council District. So if I list off everything that we did, I'm going to use up all my entire allotment of time, which is like I've not done yet, and I'm going to keep it that way. But on May 15th, in partnership with the Brooklyn District Attorney Eric Gonzalez and the Brooklyn Borough President Antonio Reynoso, Councilmember Lewis and the rest of the Haitian delegation hosted their annual Haitian Flag Day celebration. And despite the rain, we didn't let it dampen our spirits. We had good food, we had good company, and we had a good time. And I'd like to thank all the partners who assisted us in letting this be possible. Alongside her her co-chair in the Brooklyn delegation, Councilmember Chiosei, Councilmember Lewis hosted a press conference in front of City Hall to ask for $5 million to help those who are fighting deed theft. Deed theft is a massive problem, especially in Brooklyn. There are so many people, especially our seniors, who are facing deed theft. So Councilmember Lewis and the Brooklyn delegation are asking the administration for $5 million to help with legal services. If you or someone that you know is going through deed theft, please don't hesitate to reach out to our office and we'll help you in any way that we can. On May 31st, in addition to hosting the last of our Family Fun Day celebrations, Councilmember Lewis hosted a Take Back the Day bike ride for mental health and against sexual violence. This day gave people resources that they needed, both those who are surviving or currently going through domestic abuse or other kinds of abuse, as well as those who are suffering from mental illnesses. We cannot understate how important it is to give resources and support those who are going through this. On Thursday, we hosted our annual father and child golf event where people came out with their families. They learned how to play golf. It was a lot of fun. We thank all of our partners who assisted us in that. And looking ahead, we have two big events coming up. This Friday, we're going to be having a free skate event in partnership with the Parks Department. So if anybody here knows how to skate or wants to learn how to skate, we're going to have people at Pattergate Park from 4 p.m. to 7 p.m. who will be out there and they'll be able to help you with your children. If a child is under 16, they need to be accompanied by an adult. Otherwise, it's completely open, no appointments necessary. And lastly, on Juneteenth, our office will be hosting our Juneteenth celebration in front of the Brooklyn Public Library Central Branch. We do this every year. It is a massive celebration. I hope to see every single one of you there. And last thing, the budget, right? So everyone knows the budget's happening right now. Councilmember Lewis is fighting very, very hard just to make sure that everybody within our district gets what they deserve. And, you know, it's not an easy fight, but Councilmember Lewis is a champion for the district, and she's making sure that everyone is fought for. Before I close, I just want to thank once again the entire community board for everything that you guys do. This is the last one of this session, so I just want to take a moment to thank everyone. Once again, Chair Cesar, District Manager Campbell, as well as Sarah and Patricia, who deal with my incessant phone calls and are always very, very nice and patient with me. So thank you very much. As always, our office is located 1434 Flatbush Avenue. We're open Monday to Friday, 9 to 5. You can come in either by walking in or calling us at 718-629-2900. Wishing everyone a safe and happy summer and looking forward to working again next year. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Abraham. So next up, we have Brian Grady and then Portia Edwards.
Hello, I'm Brian Grady. I'm here on behalf of Councilmember Rita Joseph. I have, as usual, a flurry of announcements for you. So the first is that on this, actually Wednesday, we will be hosting, in conjunction with Senator Myrie and Assemblymember Cunningham, a senior wellness fair. This will be up in the sort of Winthrop, Crown Heights part of our district at Hamilton Metz Park. That's between Troy and Albany Avenues. Again, Wednesday the 11th from 1 to 4. We'll have music and chair yoga, wellness and home care resources, health screenings, games, activity, and art. So please do come by if you or anybody you know would be interested. And not far away, this will be starting this Friday and the next 3 Fridays in June, a Caribbean dance, fitness and conditioning session that's going to be from 5 to 6 at Winthrop Playground. So that's over at Winthrop Street and Rogers Avenue in the north part of our district. We are also hosting our summer movie Under the Stars series. So the next of these will be actually this Friday. We'll be showing Despicable Me. This is in conjunction with the Parks Department. This is at Prospect Park. I think it's near Bartle Pritchard Square. So Prospect Park West and Prospect Park Southwest. So grab a blanket and come out and enjoy a movie Under the Stars. In honor of Father's Day, we are going to be hosting it's a Father's Day basketball game. This is on June 14th. This is going to be at PS 889. So come on out to that. That'll be live music and jersey giveaways and more. That's from 2 to 5 on June 14th. Our office is also hosting an early detection prostate screenings. This is going to be at Morris Heights Health Center at 1095 Flatbush Avenue on Tuesday, June 11th from 10 to 3. So if you're like me, you are a man of a certain age, this might be worth your time for your peace of mind. I've been told to stress that this is a blood test and maybe not the other test you might be thinking of. So do come out to that if that applies to you. And as usual, we will be having New York Legal Assistance Group out to our office on Wednesday, June 18th from 10 to 3. We still have some slots available if you have any questions related to housing or benefits. It might benefit from talking to a lawyer. As ever, our office is available for any questions you might have, anything on your mind related to city government or any issues with housing or immigration services. You're welcome to come to our office at 930 Flatbush Avenue, Monday through Thursday, 10 to 5. And you can give us a call at 718-287-8762. And as always, thanks so much to everyone at CB14 for a great year, and have a great summer. Thank you.
You too as well. Thank you. So next up, we have Portia Edwards, followed by Nancy Lulu.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Portia Edwards. I'm the District Director for State Senator Zelno Myri's office. Thanks, Brian, for announcing the upcoming event happening on Wednesday. It's a senior wellness event. So our office created 2 years ago a senior resource guide, which we use for everyone. Everyone can use it. It's not necessary, not specifically, it is specifically for seniors, but there's a whole bunch of information in there that can be used for everyone. And so we'll have some of those books there at the event. A couple of announcements I wanted to make for the summertime. Our office is very active in the summertime, and so in July, the last weekend in July, we'll be hosting our basketball clinic, our Nets basketball clinic, in partnership with the Brooklyn Nets. That's going to be happening the last Saturday of July. In August, we're starting our Senator on Your Block series like we do every year, every third Thursday until October. We'll be having a senator on your block, so you can come and meet the senator on your block wherever we're going to be that month. And it's really fun. We usually have a partner organization with us. We play music, we give away items. It's really fun, just a very normal conversation with the state senator. You can bring your issues or you can bring your fun, whichever one you need at the moment, we're open for. This summer, like we do every summer, the state has a program where we encourage our students to read. So the more books our students read throughout the summer, they get a certificate. Right now, it's very easy. So they can read like 3 books and they'll submit their information and they'll get a certificate from the office. But of course, we're encouraging our students to read a lot more so that they don't lose anything that they learned during the school year throughout the summer. And our block party is happening this year in September. We usually do it the last Saturday in August, but it's going to be the first Saturday in September. Nope, it's going to be the second Saturday in September because Labor Day, right? Right, so it's going to be after Labor Day weekend. I believe that's the 7th. Somebody could correct me on that date. And it's usually always going to be on Lincoln Road, right by our office. Our office is located at 1077 Nostrand Avenue, right on the corner of Lincoln Road. And I think that's it. Yeah. Happy summer, guys.
You too as well.
Enjoy your summer.
So next up, Nancy Lulu, followed by Antonia and Jay from Brooklyn Public Library.
Good evening, everyone. Nancy Lulu from the Brooklyn DA's office. I bring greetings on behalf of DA Gonzalez to everyone. I just wanted to share that we will be holding 2 events. On June 13th, we'll be holding a Pride event, and that will be from 1 to 2:30 at 335 Adams Street on the 26th floor. And then on June 17th, our office with the NYPD, the 7-1 precinct, will be holding a Caribbean Heritage Month event, and that will be from 4 to 7 at Montgomery Street next to Medgar Evers College. Both events require RSVPs. What else? I also want to remind you, if there's anything you want to address with the Brooklyn DA's office, if you're a victim or if you know someone that's been victimized, to call our Action Center at 718-250-2340. And that's it. Have a great and happy summer. If you need anything from our office, call the Action Center. You can reach out to me. Everyone has my number. The community board has my number. The precinct has my number. And welcome to all the community board members. Thank you.
Thank you so much. So next up, we have Antonia and Jay from Brooklyn Public Library.
Good evening. Greetings from Brooklyn Public Library.
Good evening.
I hope those who celebrate Shavuot and Eid had a good holiday. Also, happy Caribbean American Heritage Month to those who are celebrating. Last Monday, June 2nd, Brooklyn Public Library issued a new special edition library card featuring the New York Liberty players and Liberty mascot, Ellie the Elephant, at all library locations. Brooklyn Public Library, along with Queens Public Library and New York Public Library, had a rally on May 21st at City Hall. This Tri-Li initiative were to seek $62 million in funding for the budget. On Saturday, June 14th at 6:30 p.m., all are welcome to march with BPL and some of our neighboring cultural institutions in the Brooklyn Pride Parade. Staff, their families, and patrons are all invited to march.
Antonia here. These are some programs at Catellia Branch. As Mary K. Seeley stated, we're having a book giveaway. Flyers are in the back. So we want to keep the kids reading during the summer so that they would not be in the summer slide when they start school during September. We have 2 weeks left for our health series called the Healing Project. On June 21st, it will be Healing Herbs, Timeless Remedies, and on June 28th, it will be Chakra Alignment, Crystal, Color, and Light. Let's Talk Mental Health, a series of depression and anxiety empowerment workshop. It will be every Tuesday, starting June 24th and ending July 29th at Catellia Branch from 6 to 7:45 p.m. Catellia Branch has a program called Sit and Be Fit that started 2 weeks ago on Fridays at 11 a.m. Please come and sit and get fit because lifting your mood counts as reps too. Flyers for all these programs are in the back. In honor of Caribbean Heritage Month, we will have a program, Learn How to Play Steel Pan, on June 27 from 2 p.m. to 5:30 p.m. We're wishing everyone a safe and lovely summer. Stay hydrated. And thanks to CB14 for a wonderful year. Thank you again.
Thank you so much. So next up, we have Marie Antoine Pierre, followed by Taisha Allen.
Thank you, CB14, for allowing me this opportunity to be able to come up here and share. But I do have 2 announcements that I need to make.
That's okay. Could you speak into the mic a little bit?
Oh, nobody can hear me? Can y'all hear me now?
Yes, much better. Thank you so much.
Good evening, everyone. Good evening. Okay, my name is Marie Antoine Pierre, and I do have 2 announcements that I need to make. One is very personal, and when I make the second announcement, you'll be able to see why this program is very important to us. So, the past week, my family and we enjoyed this very scary experience where my grandson went missing. And so I want to say thank you to Brian, thank you to Councilmember Rita Joseph's office, Flo, 70th Precinct, the Commander-in-Chief. I want to say thank you to them because putting the word out there, we were able to find my grandson now. And so I'm saying this to say, I'm thankful to God for that. I'm saying this to say mental health is very important. So my grandson, he does suffer with mental health, ADD. along with his teenage challenges, right, having to deal with peer pressure, wanting to, to make sure that, he's being seen. He wants to be the person that's hanging out with others. And so he is making wrong decisions. But he is a good kid. So I'm saying that to say anyone who have children that is struggling with mental health, please make sure that you look into the matter. Okay, it's very important that you do that. Sometimes our teenagers are not speaking up. Okay, and just because you see a kid is acting up doesn't mean that they're rude. Something is going on. Okay, so thank you for that time.
Thank you for being vulnerable and sharing. Thank you for being vulnerable and sharing. That's not easy.
Thank you very much. And now, Ms. Bramble and Jay, thank you for making the announcement about our Let's Talk Mental Health, Depression and Anxiety Summer Empowerment Workshop that's coming up. We're not just a sit down and talk ordinary, workshop, okay? We have a lots of fun. We bring in mental health professionals to cover each and every one of the sessions. And we also, the 5th week, we allow participants to do a freestyle of their mental stories. But on the 6th week, they will introduce that, present their stories at the culminating ceremony. Okay, so this is our 3rd year. Thank you, Lord, and thank you, Ms. Bramble, for receiving us. Each of the sessions are, the first week is Introduction to Mental Health and Conversation on Depression and Anxiety. 2nd week is Meet Your Mental Health Professional. A lot of people don't know the difference between a psychiatrist and a psychologist, right? Social worker, these are the people who, the team that comes together to, to help you with your mental struggles. Coping with grief is very important, right? For me, when I was putting this program together, along with my team, I had just lost my sister, and I thought coping with grief was over the loss of a loved one, but it's very broad. Traumatic experiences can cause someone. My time is up.
You got 30 seconds.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, great. Okay, so yeah, this is pretty much where we're at. We're going to be at the Brooklyn Public Library. I'm asking everyone, all leaders in this room, and also our villages, please get somebody. If you could get 2 people to register for these programs. A lot of people are suffering silently. We need to bring attention, okay, to mental health. I struggle with it too. 21 years, I struggle with depression and anxiety. I couldn't talk 21 years ago. I wasn't comfortable to speak, about my situation. And there wasn't a lot of resources that we have now, to help you with mental health. But now I say, I struggle with mental health, depression, and anxiety, and so what? Kick butt. Okay?
Thank you so much, Maria. Thank you so much. Seriously.
In the back. Please help us get people to rest.
Will do, definitely. So next up, we have Taisha Allen, followed by Florence St. Jean.
Chair and board. Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
A happy Shavuot and Eid al-Adha to all who celebrated and currently celebrated, respectively. Assemblymember Ranice Bashar-Hermelin sends greetings from Albany, where she is working tirelessly, pushing legislation. Recently passed 2 bills that will expand NWBE opportunities. A7125, that increases opportunities to participate in state contracts, and A7235 expands construction mentorship opportunities. The Assembly member also introduced resolutions, which was adopted in WBE Advocacy Day, along with colleagues. We hosted a successful event in Albany, where it allowed a lot of minority-owned businesses to come out to Albany and advocate for legislation that will better support them and their businesses. We also passed resolution recognizing June, as we know it, as Caribbean Heritage Month, and as well as Postpartum Depression Awareness Week. To make that known, we are also will be introducing this Thursday Light Blue Ribbon Week to bring awareness on prostate cancer that affects 1 out of 8 men over 40. So men and ladies, So men and ladies who have male relatives, friends, neighbors, or colleagues, Assemblymember Bishop Hermelin will be hosting a free prostate cancer mobile screening this Friday, June 13th, in front of her office at 1312 Flatbush Avenue between Foster and East 26 from 10 to 4 p.m. No insurance required. Walk-ins are welcome. RSVP is encouraged as spots are limited. If you would like to sign up today, you can see me in the back after this meeting. Few additional events we will be hosting is Tuesday, June 17th, right here in this boardroom, will be our senior luncheon from 11 to 3 p.m. Please RSVP if you have not. Our clergy luncheon will be Thursday, June 26th at the Bridge Multicultural and Advocacy Center. July 14th to the 25th, excluding weekends, we will be hosting a series of summer subway office hours at several subway stations in the 42nd Assembly District. Mailers will go out soon. And also, I want you to stay tuned for a couple of shredding events that we will be having this summer as well. Flyers will be posted to the website. If you are not subscribed to our newsletters, you can also see me. And for more information on these events and other concerns that you may have, always feel free and welcome to reach us at our office or call 718-940-0428. And happy Father's Day to all our fathers and father figures that will be celebrating this Sunday. Until we meet again, have a nice, cool, and relaxed summer. Hope I did well.
You did. Thank you so much for that. All right, so next up we have Florence Saint-Jean, followed by Ornella Parker.
Hi, everyone. Good evening. Sak passe?
Naboule.
Naboule. All right, come on. Y'all know what to do. My name is Dr. Florence St. Jean. I am a psychologist by trade, so I'm so happy to hear of the many conversations about mental health today. I'm also a faculty member at the School of Psychology right here in Brooklyn College. Yes, and I run a mental health behavioral health clinic on Nostrand Avenue between Avenue I and J. And I am a member of Bethesda Church of God, a Haitian Creole-speaking church on Flatbush and Foster. The reason why I'm here today is first of all, it's my first community board meeting. And I was born in this community board, and so shame on me for never attending, although all of the members have been telling me to come over for a very long time, but I'm really happy to be here this evening. I want to talk specifically about the clinic that I run. We provide individual and group counseling, psychiatry, medication management for those who need pharmaceutical services, and we have a really high focus on alternative medicine. So that's the main reason why I want to talk today. So there are many people, many of our clients specifically, who are not ready for behavioral health services, specifically our immigrant populations, Black and brown people who are still on the fence for behavioral health. And so we have a high focus on acupuncture, Reiki, for those who've never heard of it, massage. You all have heard of massage, right? And alternative therapies such as plant therapy, sound bowl therapy, etc. What we do with that is once people get in and they are open because of the alternative medicine that they are comfortable with, and I forgot to mention herbal medicine, then from there we meet them where they're at and we have conversations about potentially coming in for your traditional behavioral health services. It's not only at the clinic, but we go into the churches and the community. So I just really wanted to talk about that because a lot of people are really not ready, right? And we understand that, and that's absolutely okay. And so if anyone wants to learn a little bit more about it, it's called Global Trauma Research. Global Trauma Research, aka GTR. You can find us online at www.gtrinc.org. Take all major insurances, low income, no income, and we also have funding with our city council member, Farrah Lewis, as well as our assembly member, Rodney Spichot, so for people who are uninsured or unqualified to receive health insurance. And so the services are completely free for those individuals, and so we welcome everyone. Thank you, and God bless.
Thank you so much. All right, so last up we have Ornella Parker.
All right, everyone, I'm back again. This time it's just Ornella Parker, okay? Not Cher. By a show of hands, who in here cares about our youth? I'm just taking note. But hands down, I want you to keep that in the back of your mind. Who could tell me what's happening on June 24th? Last day of school? Nah, I wish for me. Yes, the primary elections. So the reason why I asked the first question is our youth cannot vote. The people in this room can. So if you have not made a decision to go vote, I'll be remiss because we're not going to have another board meeting before then. Please exercise your right to vote if you are someone who's in a political party. Again, this is we're bipartisan, so I'm not for either side. But if you have the right to and you are registered to vote, please exercise your right to vote because our youth can't. But the decisions you guys choose to make or not make by going to vote impacts our youth daily. So early voting does start this Saturday. It goes to the 22nd, and if you don't make it to early voting, actual primaries are on the 24th. So put that on your calendars, and if you raised your hand, think back now if you did. Everyone should be opening up their phones and putting in the dates so that you make sure you make it to the polls. Thank you, guys.
Done. All right. Thank you very much. And so that concludes the public comment. Give me a second. Yeah, so that concludes the public comment period. And so I want to thank the members of the public for coming out tonight. It is always great to learn about new programs and hear updates. And then when folks choose to highlight that via personal stories, then I also thank you for being vulnerable and trusting us to do that in this space too. I really do. And so on that note, it is 8:31 p.m. This is the last one of the session. And so do I have a motion to adjourn? Motion. All right. So then that's it, folks.